Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And some time ago, I did a video combining two movies, which was Man in the Moon and My Girl. I did that video because I combined those two movies in one review because those two movies are very similar. Both were period pieces and both had a tragic death in it and surrounded a young daughter. And both had movie debuts of two future actresses. Man in the Moon was Reese Witherspoon's first film, but My Girl was Hannah Klumsky was in there. I felt, excuse me, yeah, I still have a little bit of a cold in my system. Um, I felt that both movies that I did not give the fair share to the My Girl movies. So I'm going to do a review of the My Girl films. Of course, the first My Girl, damn it. The first My Girl movie came out back in November 1991. And like I said earlier, so Alan Klumsky also had Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, and of course Macaulay Culkin was also in it. Plus Griffin Dunn from The American Mirror for London. Um, of course, this movie, the first My Girl movie, even though Man on the Moon is about a similar subject, it got higher praise for some reason. It got higher than My Girl. Um, My Girl generated more publicity because it had Macaulay Culkin in it, which was the first movie after Home Alone. And it also dealt with the most controversy. And I don't know why, because most movies both have tragic death in it. So I don't know why mine go most of the stupid child psychiatrists, which if the world decided to kill all child psychiatrists, the world would be better off. Anyway, mine go just got the more publicity and the most controversy out of the two films, um, which we'll get into in a minute. Well, mine go starts with Alan Komsky as sort of as Vader Songfish. I don't know where the hell they came up with the name for this character. Who is the daughter of Dan Aykroyd's character, and her father's name was Dan Aykroyd's character's name is Harry Songfish, and he runs a uh, funeral home. He's an undertaker in a funeral home, and his family does live in the funeral home. It's a funeral home slash house. And of course, you have in the basement where you have where Dan Aykroyd embalms the dead bodies and all that stuff. And of course, for the early part of the film, every time we bring in a new uh, dead person into the funeral home, Vader pretends, or with a kind of like a hypochondriac and an 11-year-old girl, having the symptoms of the person who died. Oh, I have prostate cancer, or I have you know, or had the same affliction that killed, spoiler, the Macaulay Culkin character. Oh, because I heard from them all these bee stings. Um, and also claims that she had a chicken bone stuck in her throat and all that stuff. Well, the movie does take place in 1972 in Madison, Pennsylvania, and of course, I do have on tape somewhere. Dennis Cunningham, who was a local movie critic at that time, reviewed My Girl and said, "Oh, the only reason why it was set in 1972 so you can have the music set for that period, so it would have an emotional pull from the audience." Come on, I mean that's overstretching a bit. But what happens in the film? Uh, Vader, Alan Klumsky, becomes friends with Macaulay Culkin's character, who was like Thomas J. And they're going on these different little different adventures. That's one subplot. It's supposed to be the main subplot. The other subplot was that Dan Aykroyd hires Jimmy Lee Curtis to be a makeup artist. for the funeral parlor to put makeup on the dead people, which at first freaks her out a little bit, and then of course she warms up to Harry, she warms up to Vader, and it becomes friends, and then eventually, by the end of the film, they get engaged. That echoing Jamie Lee Curtis characters. By the end of the film, both of them end up getting engaged. You never saw them get married, but they do get engaged to be married. Of course, one of the other subplots of the film was that Vader has a crush on Griffin Dunn, who plays her teacher, and finds out that he's teaching this adult writing class, for the summer, so he can make money when there's no school. And so she joins. She ends up stealing money from Jamie Lee Curtis and pays the money to do this class, so she could be with the teacher. So you see the teacher a couple times a week. Of course, what happens is, of course, the controversial part of the film. And it finds out that Macaulay Culkin's character, of course, is allergic to beet. He's allergic to everything, really. You name it, this kid's allergic to it. And of course, it's one of the adventures that they go, walking through the woods with Raina and Thomas J. They go through the woods, and Thomas says, "Oh, look, a beehive." And he starts throwing rocks at, and Thomas J. Macaulay Culkin starts throwing rocks at the beehive. And of course, Raina told him to, stop. I said, "Look, if you stop messing with these bees, the beehive, because there'll be bees in it, and they're going to go after you, or you're going to get stung, and you're going to be messed up, because you're allergic to bee stings." Right? I said, "Yeah." And so you're going to get messed up with these bees. The bees are going to come after us. And I said, "Oh, big deal." So he throws bees and he knocks the beehive down. And of course, Vader likes to wear a mood ring, and the ring fell off her finger, and they start looking for it. And of course, here comes the bees, and they start chasing them. Then, of course, later on in the film, Thomas J goes back to the area where the beehive was, and he starts looking for the Vader's ring. And he gives a kick to the beehives, thinking, okay, the bees are probably all gone now, so I'm gonna give it a shot. So he kicks the beehive, and then of course when he finds the ring, Vader's moon ring, which is a novelty item from the early 70s, these moon rings. You just put it on and it changes colors, raise the temperature of the moon ring, and changes colors. Anyway, of course, guess what happens? There were still bees in the beehive, and they went after Thomas J. And he starts chasing him, waving his arms, no, so no. And the next thing you see is his glasses fall to the ground. Because Thomas J wears eyeglasses, they fall to the ground, and that's it. And that of course, is the end of the character. And of course, then you see this big emotional scene with Dan Aykroyd telling Vader, what happened to Thomas J got stung by bees. It's not, yeah, I know, I told him not to tease those bees. Maybe you should go over to his house and yell at him. I said, "You can't." I said, "Why can't I?" I said, "He's okay, isn't he?" He said, "No, he's not." And he found out that, he died from being allergic to the bee stings. And that's where the controversy comes in, because A, they killed Macaulay Culkin's character, because Macaulay Culkin was a popular actor because of the movie that made him an international star the year before, which was Home Alone. So this was his first film after that, and his character gets killed off. So a lot of people were upset. "Oh, you can't kill off Macaulay Culkin! How dare you kill his character off?" And that was part of the stink of the critics that were complaining that he killed his character off. And the other card is that so they got mad over that. And then, of course, eventually, stupid child psychiatrist, fuck you to all the child psychiatrists out there. And they said, because you're dealing with death. So the whole movie, that you're dealing with death. You're dealing with dead people for the whole film. And so what happened with Vader? You do see um, Thomas J. Macaulay Culkin's body being wheeled into the funeral home, and then you see his body laying in the casket because they had an open casket, so you see his body lying in the casket with all the bee stings all over his face. And of course, Vader comes down and she has an emotional breakdown. Literally an emotional, I don't call a nervous breakdown. But she nearly broke down in tears by seeing him in the casket. And of course, she ran away. She went to the teacher's house. And then, of course, she confesses her feelings for the teacher. Of course, this was years before these teachers having sex with their students. Excuse me. So, of course, Vena confesses to the teacher and says, "Hey, I have, I love you like my dad loves Shelly," which was the name of the Jamie Lee Curtis character. And I love you like my dad loves Shelly, and all that stuff. So, um, the teacher's ready to talk her out of it, and then the teacher confesses to Vena that that he's engaged to be married, and he's going to get married in the fall. And of course, then she gets more upset over that, and she goes nuts. And of course, she eventually comes home, and she told Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Shelley, that she considers Thomas J. her best friend. And it's very funny they slipped that scene in there, because early in the film, Thomas J. confesses to Doc, because Vader always takes to go to the doctor, and Thomas J. talks to the nurse, and Thomas J. says to the nurse that Vader's my best friend. So they kind of confess to other people that they were best friends. And of course, at the end of the movie, Vader goes back to the writing class, and she reads a poem that she pretty much wrote for Thomas J. And she became friends with this other girl named Judy, and her character would continue on in the next movie. Um, then they became, friends because Judy felt sorry for Vader. She kind of likes Vader, despite the other girls making fun of him from hanging out with Thomas J. in the film. But then eventually, Judy says, "The heck with the other girls. They're gonna be friends who I want to be friends with," type thing. Even though that scene is not actually in the film, you can tell that Judy wants to be friends with Vader, and that's what happened to the end of the film. Of course, the film was not only controversy, which I mentioned already, but also made a boatload of money. Was more successful than the movie The Man in the Moon was. So, of course, what happens, they usually make a sequel. And they want to make, and I mean, the way the manga ended, you could tell maybe you have more adventures with Vader. And which, of course, is what happened in the second movie. Now, the second movie was, of course, titled My Girl 2, which came on 3 years later in 1994. And at first, I thought, I thought that the premise for My Girl 2 was pretty good, a pretty good premise, but unfortunately, it has a lot of stuff that, excuse me, excuse me, to everybody. I'm getting over, I'm calling bronchitis, so I'm still coughing from it. I did like the premise of My Girl too. Of course, the premise for the second movie was uh, this movie takes place. It does start off in Pennsylvania. At that point, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is married to Vader's father, Dan Aykroyd, and of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is now pregnant. So, Vader's going to have either a stepbrother or a half brother or a half sister soon, pretty soon. And of course, Vader wants gets she gets assigned an English assignment, just before spring break. And the teacher says, okay, I want you to write a paper on someone who you never met and who you admire, and you have to do a paper on what their accomplishments are. And of course, some of the other students actually want to pick celebrities. One picked Elvis Presley, another picked Farrah Fawcett. And the funny thing is, that Farrah Fawcett was like a year or two before Charlie's Angels came on the air. So I don't know why you decided to pick Farrah Fawcett like a couple years early to pick Farrah Fawcett. Anyway, Vader decides to pick her mother. Well, now something they didn't mention for Margot One was that Vader's mother. The reason why you never see Vader's mother is because she died for complications from childbirth. After she gave birth to Vader, like 2 days later, she died due to complications from childbirth. So because of that, Vader wanted to do a paper on her mother. And the teacher wanted to give her a way out, pick, or where you pick Virginia Woolf. No, I want to stick with my mother. And then the kid says, Vader, he was giving you a way out. So you wouldn't have to write about your mother. I said, no, I want to write about my mother. And she says that she wants to write a paper on her. Now the only way that she could do it was she would fly to LA with her Uncle Phil, who was played by Richard Mesa, and he was established in the first movie. But in between the two films, he moves to California and he's there with his living girlfriend, played by Leslie Easterbrook, I think her name was, and she was very, very good. The one who plays Uncle Phil's girlfriend, she was very, very good at it. And she was one of the few good characters in the sequel. And so okay, so she goes to California, and her father, that actor reluctantly agrees to let her go, and he spends the whole week with her, and he meets a kid named Nick, played by Austin O'Brien, who was like a new character in the movie. And he plays her Uncle Phil's girlfriend's son. Playing Rose. The character's name was Rose's son. And he says, why don't you, guide Vader around and take her all through all these places? Now, of course, that's a big stink with my girl too. Is that you have these two little kids. Because Vader's supposed to be like about 3 years later, so it gives them about 14 years old. But two 14-year-old kids, in the early 70s, running around LA to some areas which could be pretty dangerous at night. There's one particular scene when they go to the Mediterranean Sea and they put their hands in the cement. The tourists do it, and this one guy walks by Vader smoking pot. I mean, you have that scene in this movie. He says, "What is he smoking?" And then goes, "What do you think he's smoking?" So you have that bit in there, and then you had them running around the streets at night. Plus, well, most of the time they're running around the streets during the daytime, but there's one particular scene you're running around at night, and she goes out, buys earrings, she gets her ears pierced at night. So that's what I think was. There's two kids running around the streets of LA. As I was watching the movie, I did have a problem with that, but of course, over the years, of course, nitpickers out there. And I have seen the Cisco and Ebert's review of My Girl too, and they brought that up. Well, Watch Ebert brought that up in the film. Now, of course, one of the other problems is that you do Vader goes more and more into what her mother did, and he's trying to find out what her mother's big accomplishment was, and it was really nothing. Because he's trying to be an actress and worked in this theater group. And that's how she met Vader's mother, or how his parents met, because her theater group was in town, and he saw her act, and they went on a few dates and proposed, and they got married, and 9 months later, Vader was born. But then one of the better scenes in the film was she finds out that, or Vader found out that her mother was actually married to another guy before she met her father. which of course Vader becomes very upset. Oh my gosh, this other guy whose name is Jeffrey Pomeroy says, "Oh my god, I might have this guy, this Pomeroy guy might be my father instead of my actual father." And of course Nick says, "Oh come on, it's very unlikely that this guy is. How can you be so sure this guy is and not your actual father?" It's well because no one has my nose, no one looks like this. I don't look like my father. I don't look like my mother. I may look like this guy. And it says, well, come on. And then eventually, of course, they find out, only in the course of a movie, they found out where Jeffrey Pomeroy lives, and the uncle drives him over there. And for some stupid reason, I don't know why, but the uncle didn't go with Vader into this guy's house to find out who this guy is. Um, I don't know why he didn't do it. He didn't go in with her, but he does give advice to Vader as they're driving to this guy's house. And he says, "Look, Vader, your father has no memories with Shelly now. And they're both gonna have a baby. You're gonna have another brother or sister coming, and it's up to you if you want to wreck your father's memories with your mother. I feel that you shouldn't do it. But if you feel that you should want to tell him, it's up to you. For what it's worth, I don't think you should tell him." Of course, she doesn't tell him. It was Jeffrey Pomeroy guy is. Of course, throughout the movie, Bane was carrying this little brown paper bag with this particular date on it. And Jeffrey Pomeroy tells him what the date is, and that was the date that we got married. We got married right in the street. Tells him that we're supposed to go to this have this wedding in a French restaurant, but the Board of Health closed it. So, and we didn't have a minister, and he married us right in the middle of the street. Nobody had a camera, but we bought a bag of peanuts from those vendors, and we wrote the date down on the bag. That's how my mother kept the bag. It was so sweet. My mother kept this bag, and yeah, that's what the bag is. It says, "Do you have any?" And Vader asked him, Jeffrey Pomeroy, what was your? Do you have any pictures of my mother? He said, "I have something better. He had home movies with sound in it." So Vader was actually able to hear her mother's voice and to see her in his home movies, acting, playing them out, fooling them out, she actually sings a song, in these home movies. And so Jimmy says, "Would you like to have these movies? I can give you these movies. It's not a problem." And Vader says, "Yeah, I have these movies." And after Jimmy Pomeroy showed Vader these movies, both of them pretty much broke down crying. I mean, Vader broke down more than he did, but you could tell that it was very emotional for him because he did love Vader's mother, and actually, of course, they were married for a while. And Vader did ask him, how come you got divorced?" And he says, "Oh, because your mother wanted kids. I just wasn't ready to have any kids at that time. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to be a father then." And of course, Vader does meet his new wife, or second wife, and his daughter. Excuse me. And Vader did like his daughter, meeting his daughter. Because, oh, she reminds me of me when I was that age. And of course, Vader asked her, "Well, you were actually my father." And Jim Parker said, "Honey, I would have been proud to be your father, but unfortunately, that isn't so. I'm not your father. I'm glad that you reached out to me, and I'm glad that we finally met. And maybe we can write to each other and stuff like that." I think they were going to have like communication and talk to each other. It wasn't really explained if they were going to keep in touch or whatever. But Jerry Pomeroy did say to Vader, "I'm glad you reached down and tried to contact me like this, because I always wanted to meet you and wanted to see how you turned out, and you turned out terrific." And said, "Oh, we're proud to be a father, but I'm not. But I'm not." And of course, when he went into the story about how, you know, they always loved each other from the beginning and working in the theater group together. Excuse me. And they worked in the theater group when they got married. And like I said earlier, Vega's mother wanted to have kids, and he did. It's unfortunate, and of course, the biggest. Uh, well, we'll get to that in a second. The end reveal. Says, "Oh, I'm glad that you contacted me." And he says, you can have these movies for you can have these movies if you like." And of course, what happens is, of course, Bane sacrifices her whole vacation to do this report. And of course, she immediately goes home and she finds out that that Shelley gave birth and gave birth to a son. And of course, the biggest joke is, of course, that Echo didn't want to pierce her ears. And of course, when Nick's mother found out that she got her ears pierced when they went out, he says, I'm sure that your father didn't give you permission to pierce your ears, did you? I said, no, he didn't. I said, okay, well, don't shave your legs. Your father's not going to let you visit us again if you come home here and to fill the holes. What I thought was kind of funny because I kept harping on that. Um, but when Beta came home, and she went straight to the hospital. And of course, another guy who was established in the first film, Arthur, was the assistant at the funeral home. You know, with Dan Aykroyd, picked her up and said, "Where's my dad? Arthur, where's my dad?" And said he had to take Shelley to the hospital. I said, "Oh, he did? What happened? Is everything? Is Shelley okay?" I said, "Well, she was making a lot of noise." The reason, of course, she went into labor, and she saw her dad in the hospital. And it says, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, you have a new brother, your new baby brother." I said, "Oh, wow, that's terrific." Is she going? Is Shelley in there? I said, "Yeah, yeah, you're going to see her." She goes, "Wait a minute, what's happening here?" It was kind of funny. Um, and of course, she sang, or Vanna did, sang the song that her mother sang on the her movies, the Jeffrey Pomeroy shoulder. And of course, in the end, Vanna narrated, like when Anna Kupsky did in the first movie, she narrated to the film. She was narrating to this movie a little bit as well. And then for the end of the movie, of course, she mentioned she showed the movies, and she got an annual report. And of course, he says, of course, Nick's coming visit over the summer. And of course, and she says, "Oh, one of mother's big accomplishment was it might be a little casino, but I think my mother's greatest accomplishment was me, and having me being a mother." And that's how the second movie is. If I do like both My Girl movies, the reason why I need to went such detail of both of them because I recently rewatched both movies, and I feel like I should have done a whole review of the My Girl films. And I do enjoy, to this day, still enjoying watching the My Girl movies more than The Man in the Moon because there's more humor in the My Girl movies. That's one, and two, I like the actors more in the My Girl movies than in the Man in the Moon. Even though Man in the Moon, you did have Reese Witherspoon, you had Sam Austin, you're from Law and Order fame, and like before he was on Law and Order, he did this movie. But and I'm saying I don't like Man in the Moon, I do like it, but I like the Man Girl movies more because Macaulay Culkin dies in the end, of the first one. That's why I like it. But but seriously, the Man Girl movies I like more. I could get past all the stupid so-called controversy because, like I said earlier, the Man in the Moon had the same issue. He had a tragic death. Unfortunately, the only difference between My Girl and Man in the Moon is he did not see um, Cord, which was the guy that the Reese Witherspoon was interested in. You did not see his body lying in the casket like you did Macaulay Culkin and Margot. So other than that, it's so similar. It's ridiculous. Uh, I might do a whole review of the Man on the Moon. I don't know, but as of right now, I'm leaving that video up. They did combine with Man on the Moon and Margot movies. Keeping that one up, but I just want to do a single video of the Margot films. Give it its proper respect. Do a review because I know not too many YouTube movie reviewers out there. I don't think not too many of them have done these movies. I'm not too sure because there's so many crit movie reviewers out there. I don't know if any of them have done this movie. So I figured, what the hell, do Margot movies and do a review on. So that's the review of the Margot films. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. Excuse me. And also you can check out all my videos on not only my YouTube channel, but also you can go to rowdyc.com, that's OWDY, C.com. That's the website of the Rowdy Reviewer, and you can check out the TV Trash Guy. You can check out all of his reviews, and check out all of his other content on his website. There's other reviewers that contribute to his website. I happen to be one of them. I suggest you check out all the content, not just mine, not just his, but everybody's, on rowdyc.com. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.